Hey guys, Trailblazer here, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. So, the dev server for the new Task Force update is up. It's been up for a while, and I wanted to take a first look at what's being added into the game, what's new, what good stuff and new stuff we're getting in the game. So, starting with the US tech tree first, we're going to look at the Army section for the US, and I know for a fact we're getting the M55 self propelled howitzer, and it is going to be sitting at a battle rating of 4.0, just like the M44, which is pretty good. I mean, it's a good howitzer. It's got a pretty long reload of 38.9 seconds and at 29.9 seconds with an elite crew, which is a bit higher than the M44, but it does get more cover compared to the M44, so that's pretty good. Moving on, we also get the Stingray. The Stingray is a light tank that is going to be sitting at a battle rating of 9.3. It gets access to DM33, which is not a bad round for 9.3, although the reload is pretty long if you don't have an expert crew on the tank. If you put an expert crew, it might be somewhere around 6.3 or something. But the base reload is 8.7 seconds, and it does not get any thermal sights or CITV. It gets night vision, but that's all. Moving off to the helicopters, new addition to the US Helitech tree is the AH-64E. And with the AH-64E, we get the first fire and forget missiles for USA, which are the AGM-179 JAGM MRs. They have a range of 16 kilometers, which is the firing range and the guaranteed launch range. So not bad. For aviation, USA doesn't get much other than the fact that they get a new bomber, which is the B-66. The B-66 is a subsonic bomber, and it gets access to a bolt turret in the back. I don't know if this is a rear targeting radar that you can lock targets with. I tried testing it out, not sure, but we'll give it another try later on, maybe on the stream, and we'll see what happens. And moving off to the German tech tree. In Germany, for army, I do not see any significant additions other than the M55 that has been added to the US tech tree. We get an M55, the M55 self-propelled howitzer for the German tech tree, and no other new additions so far that I can see. For the helis, it's the same, no new additions. For aviation, same thing. I don't see any additions to the aviation tech tree. So we're going to move off to USSR. In USSR, we do get a new IFV that would be the BMD 4M2. This is a 9.7 battle rating vehicle that is pretty similar to the BMP 3. And it gets APDS as far as I know. It gets a 30 millimeter APDS and the HE rounds for the 100 millimeter gun with the tandem ATGM, tandem charge ATGM with a penetration power of 750 millimeters, if I am not wrong. Yep. It does have pneumatic suspension, so that lack of gun depression, you can solve it with that. Not an issue. We get a new SAM for Russia, and I guess this is one of the main additions to the game of this update, main highlights. Russia gets a new SAM, which is the Book M3. It is a multi-vehicle SAM, so we have to deploy the launcher after spawning in the SAM. It's pretty much same as the Iris T or the Slamram. It gets a missile with a range of up to 70 kilometers. Holy shit. That's a lot of range. It has a launch range of 70 kilometers. And the missile's pretty fast. It's got a maximum speed of 1550 meters per second. Although I do not trust the stat cards in War Thunder. We're going to find that out. As for helicopters, I was thinking Russia's going to get something in Fire and Forget missile technology for its helis, but I have not seen anything. It's still the Vikirs, the Attackers, and the Chrysanthemums. So maybe later in the dev server, we might see an addition to the Russian heli, Russian helis getting a new Fire and Forget SAM. For aviation, I have not seen any significant additions to the Russian tech tree. If I missed something, let me know. I have not seen anything significant that's being added to the Russian tech tree. Moving off to Britain. Britain's getting a few things. First and foremost, in the ground tech tree, I think Britain gets the Ram 1, which is a 3.0 medium tank. What else do they get? Do they get anything else other than the Ram? The Wickers, of course, they get the Sky Saber, which is another major addition in this update. The Sky Saber SAM, another multi-vehicle SAM, and it looks pretty good. And we'll have to test it out and see how it performs in a test drive or in a custom battle. As for helis, Britain doesn't get anything new in the heli tech tree yet. As of now, in the dev server, maybe in the future they might get something. In the aviation tech tree, Britain gets the new FA-18A and the FA-18A late. So Britain now has its own F-18s, which is not bad. Britain needed something in their aircraft arsenal to fight at 4.3 since it was pretty lackluster than the GR7 and the Tornado F3. So a good addition with the F-18. It gets access to the AIM-7Ms, and I'm guessing these are AIM-9Ls. Yes, it's pretty much the same as the US one. It gets AIM-9Ms and AIM-9Ls. And it also gets two AGM-62 Walleye to ERDL guided bombs, but it doesn't get a targeting pod, so you'll have to guide them in or fire them without the targeting pod. They get the FA-18 late as well, just like the US Tech Tree, and it gets access to 10 AIM-120Cs. And in addition, you can put in two AIM-9Ms with them. It does not get access to AIM-9Ps as far as I can see. Does it get access? No, it does not. It does not get access to AIM-9Ps, but it does get bull launchers, flare chaff bull launchers, so that's pretty good. 640 flares is a lot of flares chaff. That's a lot of flare and chaff. Not bad. It gets access to ground ordnance, same as the American F-18 late variant. It gets the EGBU 24Bs, which are laser, IOG, and GNSS guided. It gets access to GBU 64 JDAM ERs, extended range JDAMs, and the rest is the same pretty much. And they also get the APKWS rockets. They have been added to the US jets as well. US jets get these laser guided rockets now as well. The F-16 gets it, the F-15 gets it, as far as I've checked. So I'm not sure what use they can be. I've tried using them, but they're not pretty good. Maybe for taking out smaller targets, but I don't really like them. So who knows? Now let's talk about the British or the Canadian CF1888. This is the new premium that is being added to Britain. This is the Canadian CF1888A, and it is pretty similar to the American F-18 premium. It has access to AIM-9Ls, and it also has access to the AIM-7Ps. The AIM-7Ps are just modernized AIM-7s with data link capabilities. Data link is a feature that allows you to relock a target if you lose lock or change targets while the missile is in flight. The rest of the armaments are pretty similar to what the premium American F-18 gets. It gets some good ground ordnance for CAS. So this is going to be a nice little premium for the British tech fleet, if you're ready to spend that money, that is. Moving on next, what do we have? Moving for Japan. Japan gets new additions as well. We get the F5TH TCU, which is a Thai F5, a modernized Thai F5. It has access to modern radar systems, including TWS. As far as it gets TWS plus BVR AC, it gets HMS, it gets a helmet mounted sight as well. So that's not bad at all. What armaments can it carry? It can carry the Derby missile, and it also has access to the Python 3 and AIM-9Ms, whichever you fancy. It gets the two AIM-9Ms and two Derby missiles, and two AIM-9Ms as well. In air realistic battles, it sits at a battle rating of 13.3. That's not bad at all. In the heli section, Japan doesn't really get anything other than the Mi-35. The Mi-35 is the new addition to the Japanese tech tree. We get the Mi-35 with the Sturm missiles with a range of 5 kilometers for Japan. For Army, Japan gets the Stingray, which is an American light tank, as we discussed earlier, which sits at about a rating of 9.3 and can fire DM-33. It's got a pretty long reload, which you can bring down by putting in expert crew, putting an elite crew or an ace crew. You can bring down the reload to 6.7 seconds. I think it's still a lot, but you do get access to the M33, and I'm guessing this vehicle is pretty fast with a 67 kilometer per hour. Not that fast, but it's fast enough. And we get the Ukrainian BM Oplot T, which is the T-84. This is a Ukrainian modification for the T-80 series tanks. And it does not say what kind of ERA this uses. I'm not sure if this is Contact 5 or it uses some kind of homemade Ukrainian ERA that is specific to Ukraine. So I'm not sure about that, but it sits at a battle rating of 12.0, and we're going to be seeing these in the Japanese tech tree now. 5 vehicles that are being added to the Japanese tech tree. Nice new addition to Japan. For China, we have a new addition as well in the ground tech tree. It is the WT4, which is an MBT, which sits at a battle rating of 11.7. It has some good rounds, some good APF SDS rounds like the DTC 10125. It gets access to Gen 3 thermals with CITV, Gen 3 CITV as well. For China, I don't see any new helis being added so far into the dev server. Maybe in the future, we might see something being added. Now, moving on to the Chinese air, I don't see any new additions in the Chinese, any significant additions to the Chinese tech tree so far into the dev server. Maybe we'll see something in the future. Nothing so far. For Italia, in the army, we have the M55 again. The M55 self propelled howitzer is being added to Italy as well. We've already talked about this, so I'm going to move off and move on to the next one. We get a new multi vehicle SAM for Italy as well. This is the FSAF SAMP, and let's take a look at it. In helis, Italy doesn't really get anything. I have not seen any additions so far in the dev server for Italy. In aviation, as far as I can see, there are no new additions for Italia in the aviation tech tree. I forgot to talk about the M60A3 TTS, which is an M60 with access to thermals. This is going to be added to the Thai subtree in the Japanese tech tree, the M60 TTS, just like the Stingray and the BM Oplot. For France, we I do not see any other additions other than the M55 and the SAF SAM PT, which is another multi-vehicle SAM that we need to take a look at. All right. For helis, there are no new additions for France as well. So we're going to move off to the aviation. France gets access to a new premium aircraft, which is the F-16A OCU. It sits at a battle rating of 12.7, and it gets access to IR missiles, the AIM-9L and the AIM-9M. It can carry 6 AIM-9Ls or 6 AIM-9Ms. At a battle rating of 12.7, this is going to be facing off semi-active radar homing missiles, but the access to AIM-9Ms might make it pretty powerful. The AIM-9Ms are pretty powerful IR missiles, and at close ranges, this thing might shine pretty well. Talking about the Swedish ground tree, Sweden has a new addition in the form of the CV90105 TML. It is a light tank that sits at a battle rating of 8.7, and it gets thermals and access to the DM-23 round, which is a pretty mediocre round, but at 8.7, it might be enough to be good. It might be pretty potent at 8.7 battle rating. It has a reload of 8.7 seconds, which is not bad, and 6.7 seconds with an ace crew. Do we have any other additions to Sweden other than the CV? Not as far as I can see. Sweden does not get any new helis so far into the dev server. Maybe something will get added in the near future. In the aviation tech tree, Sweden gets the Norwegian Mosquito F Mark II. This is the Swedish, sorry, this is the Norwegian operated Mosquito, sitting at a battle rating of 3.7. Nothing new other than the Mosquito for Sweden. In the Helitech tree, nothing new for Sweden either. Finally, moving off to the Israeli tech tree, I do not see any new additions in the ground tech tree for Israel. We do not have any new tanks being added to Israel as far as I can see in this new dev server. Helis, no new helis being added to Israel either. As for the Israeli air tech tree, we get access to the F-16I Sufa, which is a modernized F-16 and has these conformal fuel tanks. These conformal fuel tanks that are built into the aircraft. This looks like a pretty sick F-16, a modernized F-16, and it has some potent armament as well. It gets access to the AIM-120C5s. It can carry the AIM-120C5s and the AIM-9M IR missiles. It also has uh, the Israeli-made spice bombs, which are IR-guided GBUs. It has a 2,000-pound variant. It has a 1,000-pound variant, and there are also smaller ones, which are 250-pound variants. This is going to be a pretty good aircraft for ARB with access to AIM-120Cs, and also has a CAS aircraft in GRB. So you might have to watch out for this one. So this is it for now. These are the vehicles that are being added to War Thunder as of now. Let me know if I missed anything, and let me know in the comments if you're excited about any specific vehicle. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye bye.